Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a usually I say exciting video, but it's not. It's awful. This is actually gonna be my first true crime video on this channel. So you may have realised, why am I uploading it on this channel? Because I just decided, instead of having this channel and my other channel that was my true crime with some, I'm just gonna do everything on this channel. Don't worry, I will still be doing vlogs and fashion, but this will be my main focus as it is my passion and it actually feels more like a job that way, as obviously these videos take so much research and time and it just fiddles my brain a bit more, keeps me busy, and I enjoy it thoroughly. So everything will be on this channel now moving ahead. Today's case is going to be about Olivia Gant, and this is about a child, so please do not watch if this is going to be upsetting to you in any way. I do not want it to be, so please keep that in mind. I do want to get the case out there, as I've never actually heard of this case and I found it's actually heartbreaking. It is truly absolutely crazy, but we're gonna get into it. Olivia Gant is a little girl who sadly passed away after ongoing medical abuse by her own mother in a case of Munchausen's by proxy. We all know obviously Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Munchausen's by proxy is very well spoken about actually now, but I'd never heard of this case and it is dreadful, truly. So Olivia K. Grant was born on June 21st, 2010 in Pasadena, Texas, in Deer Park, where she lived with her mother, her two elder sisters and her father. It's said that Olivia's parents had quite a difficult marriage. Olivia was very close with her beloved relative, her grandfather, Lonnie Gatru, who recalled Olivia being a loving child. She had a great imagination and loved playing dolls. In August 2011, Olivia's mum, Kelly Turner Grant, began actively taking photos of Olivia and sharing them online with viewers on her blog. And these tended to be of the little girl's hospital visits. And this blog's not public, you can't see any of the posts. Good. That was when she was around 1 year old. Not much is known about this, but this is when she started the blog. In 2012, when Olivia was aged 2, her two sisters and her mother moved to Colorado. The dad, their father, stayed back in Texas. I'm guessing the mother and father had a divorce. I'm pretty sure they did. Records say they lived in both Littleton and Highlands Ranch whilst they were in Colorado. Now, sometime in 2012, it was said Olivia was seen for the first time at Children's Hospital, Colorado, for treatment related to severe constipation. Although the treatment of removing hard stool from Olivia's colon was successful, her mum Kelly soon returned, reporting that Olivia was unable to consume food properly. She also reported a history of seizures and other health problems Olivia had suffered with when she was even younger. At that first visit, a doctor thought that Olivia appeared to be growing perfectly normal. Remember that. Due to the constipation issues that Kelly would keep bringing Olivia back for, it was focused on these constipation issues, Olivia was also prescribed anti-seizure medication at some point. No one ever saw her have a seizure. This was her mum's word. But in July 2014, a neurologist questioned if this medicine was even necessary, as there was no evidence of seizures. Yet, Olivia continued to take this medicine. Kelly was still worried, telling doctors that her daughter was unwilling and unable to eat normally. By September 2014, Olivia had been hospitalised 3 times for constipation. 2 months later, in November 2014, surgeons agreed to perform an ileostomy, which is an incredibly invasive procedure, especially for a 4-year-old. At just 4, Olivia's small intestine was rerouted and she was fitted with a bag, which drained waste through a hole in her stomach. It was drastic, but it was hoped that the operation would relieve Olivia's supposed constipation. Yet, she continued to have digestive problems. Her constipation did improve, but Kelly reported Olivia now wouldn't eat, which she'd done before, but she was more focused on this now. And I'm not joking you, a feeding tube was put in her nose. She is 4. She's got a colostomy, I'm not sure, I think it's a colostomy bag, and a feeding tube now. In January 2015, a more permanent feeding tube was inserted through Olivia's abdomen, replacing the temporary tube in her nose. And then a different type of tube would be placed surgically shortly afterwards. All these surgeries! In June 2015, Olivia had another surgery to place a tube to feed her through her veins, a process called parenteral nutrition, or a TPN. She underwent feeding therapy at the hospitals, and this did improve her ability to eat normal foods. In July 2015, Kelly makes a post online saying that Olivia has a terminal illness, which she never said before. This was her first statement about this, and her medical records show no such disease, but she's posting that. Other people aren't going to think that's a lie. That's definitely a lie, are they? They're going to think, oh my god, that is awful, because who suspects a mother lies about their young child in this way? Then on July 27th, 2015, Kelly set up a GoFundMe account for Olivia, and it ended up raising around $22,000. A bake sale was also held for her, and a night for the Gant girls at Chick-fil-A. So everyone was coming together, raising money for this poor girl who had a terminal illness. This GoFundMe page actually says, from what I can read, this is a story about a sweet little princess that everyone has grown to love. In the beginning, other than being born prematurely and weighing a little over 4 pounds, Olivia was fine. Issues were noticed from about 9 months on, but the real trials began on the first visit to Children's Hospital Colorado in the summer of 2012. Since this, she has been hospitalised weeks to months at a time. As a family, living in separate states from family, having to pick up and go where the best care was for Olivia seemed to be the right decision. As of November 2014, Olivia has endured numerous hospital stays, surgeries, treatments, invasive testing just to sustain living. And then I'm not sure if that's all that was there, but also it said at the end, we are hoping for support both financially, spiritually and emotionally. Not only will this be a taxing time for Kelly, the mum, and Olivia, but for Olivia's sisters and the friends and family who are willing to step in and help during this time. It's very sad. I would donate. I would. It's very, very sad, but now we know it's complete lies and manipulation. Kelly actually continuously updated this GoFundMe page regularly with news of Olivia's illnesses. Kelly wrote an update in around 2015 saying, quote, a few months ago, Olivia added a new diagnosis to her already long list, which includes hydrocephalus, autism, seizure disorder, motility issues, sensory processing disorder, AV vascular malformation, focal corticodysplasia, tumour on the parotid gland, and developmental delays. So that is truly quite the extensive list of things wrong with this little girl, who is 5, roughly. In 2016, Olivia was put on heavy narcotic drugs and painkillers that she literally then stayed on for the foreseeable future until the tragic events. Prior to her death, there was 1,000 recorded hospital visits, which is just bizarre. In addition to the medical abuse, Kelly would tell her friends that Olivia was terminally ill and use sympathy to scam various charity organisations. Kelly said that Olivia was diagnosed with neurogastrointestinal I can't say that. That's not going to happen. Unfortunately, I cannot. I've tried to look up the pronunciation, but nothing's coming up to show me how to pronounce it. I will put it on the screen. And this is a disease that attacks many of the body's vital organs. Kelly would post Olivia's bucket list of things her daughter wanted to do before she died. Olivia was 6 years old around this time. It's so sad. It's the fact that this poor little girl, she thought she was going to die. She thought she was so ill. And she was so young. With the aid of the Make-A-Wish Foundation and DeVita Incorporated, a dialysis company, made Olivia's dreams come a reality. In February 2017, Olivia said, I want to battle with Batman. So an elaborate party was done for her. Olivia's Bat Princess party cost more than £8,000. She was dressed in a mask and a shiny purple cape. Olivia arrived in a limousine. She was made to feel like a superhero, battling villains. Kelly looked on proudly at her daughter. I mean, poor girl. Olivia's mum Kelly actually said, quote, "You could give me all the money in the world and I would give it all back just to be able to watch this again." At the time, Olivia's mum Kelly actually told CBS4 the event was delayed several times due to Olivia's unexpected medical emergencies. Obviously to everyone, it seemed like Kelly was an amazing mother, the perfect mum, doing everything right by her child to give her the best life before she passed away. In 2017, Kelly actually spoke to a woman called Maya Chung, a reporter for Insider Edition. They spoke on the phone and Maya said Kelly seemed calm and peaceful, saying they were just trying to do as much as possible for Olivia before she passed away and they didn't know how much time she had left. She also told her that Olivia has autism along with the various medical issues and terminal illnesses that were causing her organs to shut down. Also saying she has a tumour and a build-up of fluid in the cavities deep within her brain. In February 2017, other events were established where Olivia would get to pretend to be a firefighter and a police officer. She's seen in a police car catching bad guys, so she was allowed to go around in a car with a policeman and she was obviously like role playing, like, oh, trying to catch a bad guy. And what's so ironic and sad about this is that the whole time her mum was the bad guy and she didn't have a clue. A video put out by suburban Denver government shows Olivia riding on a truck, putting out a dumpster fire and telling firefighters to stand at attention, all of which are met with this little girl's smiles and laughter despite her several medical tubes poking out of her backpack. On March 1st, 2017, Olivia underwent what would be her final surgery, a procedure implanting a tube in her bladder which drained through her abdomen. Again, extremely invasive. March 24th, 2017, Kelly requested that Olivia not be resuscitated if her heart stops or given naloxone, which is a medicine that rapidly reverses an opioid overdose. On March 27th to March 28th, Olivia's care team raised concerns about the amount of stool in Olivia's colostomy bag and that the amount recorded in her chart just doesn't add up. This is important because the amount of stool is a clue to see how well Olivia's intestines are functioning. A monitor was assigned to the room and the amount of stool improved significantly. Doctors wasn't sure if this was Olivia improving on her own or if the medicine they gave helped or if the monitor prevented tampering. They just didn't know. On March 29th, 2017, Kelly requested that Olivia be placed in a hospice. Now this is crazy to me because it's the fact she's doing this. This is so premeditated and she's getting Olivia to be put in a hospice because she knows she's gonna die. And no, not because she really has all these things, but because this sick woman did this to her own mum. I don't even call her a mum. On July 11th, 2017, a doctor refused to renew an order not to resuscitate Olivia if her heart stops or if she overdosed on the prescribed opioids. And this started a series of ethics meetings. The hospital's child protection team found, quote, "no reason to alert the Department of Human Services to potential medical child abuse." And this was according to medical records. A different doctor later then signed this order. This just is not normal. You would want to do everything you could to save your child. Like, why did this other doctor sign off of it and why did they not realise there was obviously medical abuse going on? This is crazy. On 1st of August 2017, Kelly had Olivia transferred to a hospice where her feeding tube was withdrawn. Olivia cheerfully sang Hakuna Matata from The Lion King as she was wheeled into hospice care in Denver wearing purple pyjamas. She sang "It Means No Worries for the Rest of Your Days" while her mother filmed. She wore her princess dresses, hugged her Olaf, but her positivity and high spirits changed drastically as Olivia began to starve. While kept on potent drugs, Olivia survived on nothing but the juice from ice lollies. 19 full days of being given nothing but melted popsicle juice rubbed on her lips with a sponge to eat. That was it. And very, very sadly, Olivia passed away on August 20th, 2017. Just heartbreaking. This poor, poor girl. 2 days after Olivia's death, her mother Kelly posted this. I'm not sure where she posted it, but she said, quote, "August 20th, 2017 will be a day of utter joy for me. I've seen all the numerous posts on Facebook of everyone saddened and heartbroken over the loss of sweet Livy, and all day I have wondered why." Sorry, what? Is that not enough to raise an eyebrow? And also, quote, "I couldn't help it. I took a picture at 7:36 p.m. and she took her last breath at 7:40 p.m. There were tears, but only for a moment. The doctor was called, other workers to let them know she had passed. Within about 30 minutes, staff members were showing up to hug us, love us, cry, but mostly tell us of how she touched them." I actually can't believe this. Sick. And she said she took a picture of her 4 minutes before, which, fair enough, like if this was a loving mother and that was happening, then maybe you would do that, but I obviously, we know that she isn't, and I really hope with all my heart she did not post this photo with this post. I couldn't find out if she did, but Olivia's death was ruled to have been caused by intestinal failure as a complication of her multiple medical conditions, which is crazy, because where is the proof? So you would have thought Kelly must have hoped she never had to see the inside of a hospital again after going through all that trauma with her poor child. But a year later, in October 2018, she came back to that same hospital, this time with Olivia's sister, Kelly's elder daughter, who was aged 13. So this was the middle child, because Kelly had 3 girls. Obviously poor Olivia had passed away, and this was now the middle child. Kelly said that this 13-year-old had bone pain and that she had previously been treated for cancer, lymphoma, first in Colorado in 2013. She also said her daughter had undergone chemotherapy and radiation treatment for 3 years in Texas. This doctor called physicians and hospitals in Texas and learned this girl was never diagnosed with cancer. So obviously alarmed by this incredible apparent coincidence, they dug deeper, the hospital staff. They found articles and blog posts about Olivia online, which detailed conditions that did not match her medical records. Obviously, Kelly was putting some wild claims of diagnoses out there, wasn't she? Suspicious of the care that Olivia had received, Kelly was reported to the police. Finally, Kelly was found to have received at least £75,000 in donations for Olivia, as well as claiming $400,000 in medical insurance, defrauding Medicaid. Olivia's body was then exhumed, and an autopsy found absolutely no physical evidence of any illness or any other condition that Kelly claimed her daughter suffered, including seizure disorder and that build-up of fluid in her brain. Olivia's death was now changed as undetermined. Now, this wasn't actually Kelly's first brush with the law. I found this so interesting. Kelly's criminal records from Texas was somehow obtained, and they show she was actually arrested in 1998 for, are you ready for this, aggravated sexual assault on a child. She plea bargained the case to felony injury to a child and served a few years in prison. Kelly also had previous convictions for impersonation of an emergency medical technician, forgery and probation violation. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Investigators obviously began investigating, and they were shocked to learn that Kelly, this child's own mum, had withdrawn all medical care in the hospice. Why would you do that? One doctor told investigators that Kelly wanted to withdraw all of this medical care and this artificial feeding for her daughter because her quality of life was so bad and she didn't think it was fair. Now, I can see this if your child was actually ill, but wow. He said that she insisted that he signed a do not resuscitate order for her daughter. Doctors had said that Olivia wouldn't be able to survive without what she was on, and Kelly was given the option of taking her home on hospice care, but she didn't want to. According to the indictment, several of Olivia's doctors at the Children's Hospital Colorado actually were skeptical of her medical issues, and they doubted that she was terminal. So I'm just thinking, why not bring it up? You could have saved a child's life. One of Olivia's physicians, Dr. Robert Kramer, said he was shocked to learn that Kelly had withdrawn medical care and that Olivia had passed. He described Olivia as social and very talkative and said he never diagnosed her with any of the diseases that Olivia's mum described on the GoFundMe page. Another of her physicians, Dr. Kristen Park, told investigators that she found no evidence that Olivia ever had seizures and said that she told Kelly 3 separate times to stop giving Olivia this anti-seizure medication because it had serious side effects and she didn't need it. Other doctors doubted that Olivia ever had autism. Dr. Thomas Walk told investigators that she did not exhibit any symptoms that her mother described most of the time, and described Olivia as a very active, interactive, social and fun to be around. Dr. Jamie Belkind-Gerson had a similar assessment of Olivia, describing her to investigators as always smiling and playful. Breaks my heart. A year after suspicions were raised and substantial evidence was gathered, Kelly Gant, or Kelly Turner now, aged 41, was arrested on Friday, October 18th, 2019 at a Denver area hotel for the 2017 death of her daughter, Olivia Gant. She was formally indicted on charges of first-degree murder, child abuse, and defrauding Medicaid and private donors. She was held without bond, and at this time, Kelly was living with her eldest daughter, who was I think 18 at this time, so the eldest daughter, and her own parents, so Kelly's parents. I'm unsure where the middle child was at this point, but I'm going to explain some of that in a minute. I don't know where the middle child was, and I'm not sure if their father had any, so the children's dad, even when Olivia was alive, I'm not sure if he had any involvement. It was not clear to me. During an interview, investigators said Kelly spontaneously brought up Munchausen's by proxy syndrome. So they didn't bring it up, she brought it up. And if you didn't know what that is, it is a psychological disorder in which parents or a caregiver seek attention from the illness of their children or dependents and sometimes cause them injuries to receive attention or financial gain. She actually said in this interview, quote, "That has never been my case, like at all, whatsoever. You can talk to anyone that stood by my side for all of this." So she was the one that brought it up, then answered her own statement, clearly already getting ahead of the investigators to make it seem like this would never be true. This just genuinely makes her seem so much more likely that she does have it. It's quite clear. I don't get why she would even say that. The jury indictment shows Kelly was charged with 13 counts of various things. Count 1 of murder in the first degree of causing a death in a child under the age of 12, and count 2 of murder in the first degree of causing death on another person that wasn't herself. I didn't realise that could count for 2 charges, but it does. Count 3 was child abuse. I'm unclear whether this was to do with the middle child or Olivia herself, as obviously the children's names are blanked out in this indictment that I found. However, I do believe that this is a charge towards Kelly's treatment of her middle child, mainly, as it says between May 13th 2008 and October 9th 2018, and obviously Olivia wasn't born till 2010, so obviously I can tell the children's names that are blanked out. The longer one was Olivia's name, I could figure out obviously, and the shorter one was obviously the middle child, who we do not know the name of. So I kind of figured out, I'm pretty sure most of this child abuse, they were focusing on this charge against the middle child, obviously because of what she did to the middle child. She tried to do the same thing repeatedly. Obviously it was Olivia as well, she put this horrendous child abuse on, but that's just, I mean, the 2 counts of murder. Discussing more on Kelly's abuse towards the middle daughter, in 2013 Kelly falsified information about her child undergoing treatment and having lymphoma. She came with a history of an infection of the mastoid bone, but the only ever confirmed issues that this girl had were ear infections and athletic injuries. In 2016, Kelly changed to another doctor, because obviously that one was becoming suspicious, and then began saying that her daughter had lymphoma, which is like, they can check that. And obviously she did it again in 2018, a year after Olivia passed away. So it's like, she's lost that child, let's go back to this one and do it with this one. On 10th of November 2018, the middle daughter was actually interviewed in school. She described believing she previously had cancer of an unknown type and being told of this cancer by her mother. She also described in detail the death of her sister and her illnesses that caused it, because obviously the sister thinks that. Investigators found no evidence of her ever having cancer, like I said. In an interview with Kelly, she eventually admitted that she made up her middle daughter's cancer claims, but still insisted that everything that Olivia had was true. A separation test was actually done with Kelly and the middle child. This was done after the interviews. This would be where mum, Kelly and the middle child weren't allowed in the same house, and this was to see if she was really having medical issues or not. The outcome of this was that the child was not suffering from anything at all. So count 4, 5 and 6 are on theft because of the GoFundMe, Medicaid, Make-A-Wish, and also she conned a funeral home of around $5,000. Oh my god. And then count 7, count 8, count 9 are on charitable fraud. There was lots of that going on. And then count 10 and 11 were on attempt to influence a public servant, and count 12 and 13 were on second-degree forgery. Kelly appeared virtually from Douglas County Jail in her plea hearing and struggled to keep from sobbing throughout the hearing. She was barely able to say guilty when prompted by District Court Judge Patricia Heron to confirm her decisions on the record. In exchange for the guilty plea, prosecutors dropped the first-degree murder charge. She was originally gonna plead innocent, well, not guilty. She was gonna say not guilty, but then she changed it to say guilty, and now first degree murder is just off the table when it's too obvious. Oh, I hate when they do that. Her attorney reportedly said, quote, "She's not guilty of murdering her child. The plea we took in this case is negligent child abuse." No, it's not. It's murder. It's quite clear it's murder. She literally took her child off this medical equipment. Oh my god. And yes, obviously it was child abuse throughout her whole life, but no, that was murder. It's quite obvious. The sentencing hearing took place on February 9th, 2022. Kelly's attorney, public defender Ara Ohanian, reportedly maintained that Olivia suffered from real medical ailments during the hearing. So he was just going with that. I mean, what else would he go on, really? Chief Deputy District Attorney Christopher Gallo took the opposite approach, arguing that Kelly was directly responsible for Olivia's death. Quote, "It is an unfortunate and very frustrating thing that the most insidious of crimes a person can commit are also the most difficult to prosecute and prove." So sad. Prior to the sentencing, Olivia's grandfather, who she was really close with, Lonnie, read a victim impact statement before the court. It's so sad, and he said in it, quote, "Anybody spoke up and protected Olivia, she would be here today," he said through tears. And he actually saw her before she passed in the hospital, and he remembers her saying like, "Papa, I'm hungry." Oh, it actually broke my heart. Kelly was given maximum 16 years on the charge of child abuse resulting in death. 10 years for the charitable fraud charge and 3 years on the theft charge. Her sentences will run concurrently, meaning she will serve all 3 sentences together. Kelly was also ordered to serve a mandatory parole period of 3 years after she's released and pay restitution. The judge also stipulated Kelly shall not gain financially from the case when she's out of prison. District Attorney John Kellner said in a press release, quote, "This is not a perfect outcome, but this is not a perfect case. I'm proud of our team that fought so hard for justice after so many years for little Olivia." And that is the end of our case. I can't believe she got, it's not even minimum of 16 years, it's maximum 16 years. Are you winding me up? I truly have no words. 16 years, that is nowhere near enough. That should be instant life. Instant. And the fact they knew she tried to do this to her other daughter, and she started to do it again after Olivia had passed away. So she was I don't understand. That is life in prison, in my opinion, straight away. I just don't see 16 years, wow. And that's maximum. Oh. Anyway, this case, it was horrendous. And I just want to end it thinking about Olivia. You all know what I said about her in this video that other people said. She seemed like such an amazing little girl, and she passed at only age 7. This woman is sick, truly. And I can't believe, I just can't believe she'll be out. Really not that long, really, is there to go. It baffles me, truly. Oh, poor Olivia. Anyway, I hope you found this case interesting, if nothing else, to listen to, and it does raise more awareness. And please, please keep an eye out on this happening in your own life. Keep an eye out on others. If you see this happening, it can be even a lot less minute than this, but if you think someone has got Munchausen's by proxy and they are doing this to their child, even in a lesser way, say something to someone, because, or even just talk to them, because it's awful, honestly. I don't even have any sympathy. People say like, oh, it's Munchausen's by proxy, is a psychological disorder. I don't have any sympathy, no, that's evil to me. Anyway, please comment down below your thoughts and opinions on this video, and subscribe for more content like this, and commentary and everything, really, just everything and anything. And yeah, I love you all. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, it would mean the world, and share this video if you want to. And yeah, I'll see you all on Sunday for a new video. Bye. I've got no